Mhm. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Pitts from Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, coming to you live each and every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday with Coach Bernard Clark Jr., head coach, Robert Morris University, Colonials, a.k.a. Tiger. Good morning, Coach. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, Pitch. Everything's going well. No complaints. It's decision Saturday. Not only that, it's game day.
It's execution day. It's the day where violence is legal.
Absolutely. Organized violence becomes legal. That's what football is. It's organized violence. I tell people all the time. That's what I got a crazy story to tell you, though, before we kick into it. So I'm watching Sisters the other night with my wife. My wife has me watching Sisters on BET. And it's a story about these young ladies that are growing up in life and their life throughout the time they're growing up. And they meet these young men the other day. And they start chatting with these young men on the bus. And these young men start having a conversation with them. They start telling them about their mentor. And they start telling them how the mentor had them become better men, better husbands, and better fathers. So it was crazy how it jumped out at me, how that happened. So it was kind of,
wow.
They mentioned it twice, too. That's the weird thing about it.
Wow. And that was on Sister. I know of this show, never watched it. I teased my dad about having to watch it with my stepmom. So
yeah, I watched it with my wife. It's actually a very very interesting story. It's kind of drama, it's kind of comedy, it's kind of one of those situations. It's an interesting story. Not only that, I have great conversations with my wife about different things that some of the women do, or some of the craziest things women do on there, and also some of the craziest things men do. But the fact that, he said, the mentor raised them to be better men, better husbands, and better fathers jumped out at me, because obviously, that's the title of my book, Ascension, the coach's guide to becoming a better man, husband, and father. So those things are always interesting to me.
But the interesting part also is that in order to be a better husband, father, husband, father, man. I know I'm not saying in the right order. It's a decision. It's a choice you have to make.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Absolutely.
And while we decision.
Yeah, talk about decisions, because you're absolutely right. It's a choice you have to make. And me, you were talking about it the other day. You're not married 21 years because you say, hey, I'm in love. And I was like, no, you choose to stay married, and I think somebody said it best. The biggest problem nowadays with marriage is that, people look for reasons to not be married as opposed to looking for reasons to stay together. They look for a reason to get apart. And so that's the great thing about it. But we're talking about marriage on freaking execution day for football, but let's go ahead and get it done. That's execution too, like you said.
That's execution too. that's a different type of execution.
There ain't no doubt.
But let's go ahead and tap into it. Last time we spoke on Thursday, we talked about the players that were injured and the rest that they were able to get, or the performance that they were able to put out there, and the fact that they're able to build onto that performance. They were able to practice. Some able to go as hard as they wanted. Others, kind of want to scale it back just to make sure they don't re-injure themselves. Let's start first with our injury report. How are our injured players doing? How have they been responding to the time off or the ramp up of the practice?
Other than the guys that had season-ending injuries, we had two of those guys that happened in the first of the year. Happened after the Air Force game or during the Air Force games, and those are two of our guys. But all the guys that have had, they've been hurt. That you and I talk about the difference between injury and hurt. All the guys that have been hurt, they're back. And so that's the positive thing about it. We got our safeties back. We got our center back. We got our tight end back. So all those guys that were hurt, they're back. All the upperclassmen, that need to be on the field, they're there. So we've made the decision to go ahead and go with those guys today and get those guys going and get them revved up and put them in a position they need to believe in. Because they got to understand that we believe in them. We believe in them as players. We believe in them as men. And we want to make sure they have a good game.
What about our left guard? I believe it was the left guard, right?
It was and what we had to do was we had to move the left guard to the left tackle because our left tackle hurt his ankle. But our left tackle's back now also. So like I said, most of the guys are back, and they're going to be on the field. They're going to contribute. They're going to start, and so that's the positive thing about it.
And the safeties, how have they been responding? Because I know, that's a lot of lateral cut. Not sure what their injuries were, but, safeties are like the quarterbacks of the defense. Of the defense.
Well, the two of them had sprained ankles. They weren't high ankle sprains. They were low ankle sprains. One of them had a sprained knee. So it's a situation where all of them are back. They're excited about it. The biggest thing with those guys is exactly what you just said. It's making the cuts, it's making the change of direction, things that become crucial. And also, in our defense, safeties are prominent tacklers. They're the guys that need to be in the heat of the moment. They're the fits. and some of the run stuff. So got to make sure they can get downhill and be where they need to be and aren't worried when they go and hit somebody. So they're excited about hitting. We're excited about them getting on the field.
It's funny, Coach. I was thinking yesterday, and I remember asking you if you had a ritual before the game, right? Like something that you
Mm-hmm.
do. But
Right.
then I don't remember asking, did you ever have like a food that you like to eat before a game?
Nah.
Or nah?
Nah, I'm not. The weird thing is, when I was in college, it wasn't so much superstition about whether we'd win or lose. It was superstition about whether I'd have a good game or a bad game. But as I got older, and now I'm not, superstition's crazy. I mean, it's doesn't make sense. I can't believe in God and then think that God's in control, and then go out there and think, well, if I tape my ankles this way, we're gonna win the football game. So that don't make any sense. So,
Absolutely.
so it's one of those.
Absolutely.
um,
How was the travels to Missouri?
It was good. The crazy thing about it, we broke it up into 2 days, obviously, because it's a 10-day bus ride. We'll drive straight back, but when we're coming down, we break it up. So on Thursday, we stopped in Cincinnati, which gave me an opportunity, man, to run into some of my
Old stomping grounds.
old teammates from the Bengals, man. So I was able to see Eric Thomas and Joe Kelly and Kevin Walker and Eric, and Solomon Wilcox. So I was able to see those guys and spend a little time with those guys. So it was nice. It was good to be able to spend some time with those guys. We're all getting old, man. Kevin's son's 31 right now. I remember he was a baby just being born. So it's weird, man, watching your kids get old. And Joe Kelly, his daughter's there with us, saying what's up to us and hanging out with us. And she's 23 now. So we're all getting old.
Wow. Amazing memories. And then, we're here today, we're playing CQ. Coach, we
Yes.
talk about it. Today is the day that we go out there. The game plan has already been laid out. The players understand and they know what today's task is. Today's all about Saturday execution.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's that time.
Yeah, no,
What they say, what we used to say in the locker room, nothing else to say on Saturday. We done said it all week.
ain't nothing to talk about. I mean, the thing about it is on Saturdays, I don't have a team meeting. It's one of them situations where we briefly meet with them. I say what's up to them, but it's time to go, man. If I'm in a situation where I got to talk you into playing on Saturday game day, then we have a problem anyway. So like you said, it's just time to get out there and get it done. And what we talk about, how long we do it. We talk about it all the time. We do it all game long, 60 plus minutes, whatever it takes to try to get this W. That's what we need to do.
Let's talk about special teams. I know we talked about the hamstring of the kicker. That was one that I did miss in our injury report. How has he responded or bounced back?
He's bounced back well, but the positive thing about that, the young man that we put in there, when he didn't go, the young man we put in there, he did a great job. When he got the kickoffs and he did the extra points, so he did an outstanding job. So he was definitely getting it done. So like I said, it's next man up, especially with those guys. They've been competing with each other since camp started. So the positive thing about those guys is next man up. The next guy did just as good a job as the first guy.
We talk about execution and we talk about the fact that they have a good running back on the other side. And the execution and stopping him is making sound tackles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got to definitely make sound tackles. But again, that's why we're happy to have those safeties back because, like I said, they're really involved when it comes to run fits. So that's the positive thing about that. But the running back is good. The thing about it is the game plan they have for the quarterback. It's like I told you, they had one quarterback in there. He was a starter. And when he went down, the next guy came in, number 11. And my man is the game plan they have for him is outstanding too. And what it is basically he's not a runner, but he's elusive and he can run the ball. He's capable of running. You see him make one or two reads, and my man's taking off. So we got to make sure that we're ready for that scramble. That's something that's kind of been our Achilles heel, throughout the time we've been here. So we got to make sure we're in position to make those tackles. I got to start scrambling.
When we talk about game planning for a particular quarterback style, does that essentially meaning that you have to create a whole new play scheme? This is for the listeners and the viewers who may not understand when you talk about the game plan they have for that quarterback versus another, only understanding that they have two different skill sets. One may be stronger, drop back passing. One may be stronger with moving the pocket.
There's no doubt you have to have not so much two different game plans, but two different understandings, especially as a defensive lineman. When you're dealing with a guy like let's go, Lamar Jackson. You're playing against Lamar Jackson. It's totally different than playing against Tom Brady. Tom Brady's he's gonna get the ball out of his hands. He's gonna get it done. He's gonna make it happen from the pocket. With Lamar Jackson, He's going to make 2 or 3 reads, and then he's taking off. It's a situation. He has the arm to throw the ball, but he also has the leg to beat you. So when you're dealing with that, you probably want to, with us, we want to press the pocket more against a guy like Lamar Jackson. We want to make sure we get that pocket tight, make sure it's clean, and basically bull rushing on the outside, on the edge, and keeping him in that pocket, not let him have an escape straight up the middle. Let's make him escape more if he's going to escape. Let's make sure he's escaping outside, not down the middle of the field where there's no one there, there's no pressure, and he hits the middle of the field. So you want to make sure he's doing that. You want to make him a pocket passer and put him in that situation where if you're dealing with someone like Tom Brady, who's a pocket practice passer, who's making decisions right now, you got to make sure you're breaking on the ball right now. Make sure he's getting rid of the ball quick and make sure you do those things because that's what he's going to do. So you got to make sure you're covering your guys better. If it's a zone, you got to make sure you're breaking on the guys and making a tackle. So it becomes a little bit different. And now you can probably put your D-line in more twist and more moves and things like that because they can get there and they have time to get there as far as, you know, with Lamar Jackson, you don't have as much time. You got to condense that pocket and keep it where it's going. Now, again, I'm not comparing Tom Brady to Lamar Jackson. I don't want anybody to think that at all. We're talking about two different contrasts of what quarterbacks are doing. You got a scrambling quarterback who can also play the pocket with Lamar Jackson, but you have a quarterback who's not capable of scrambling. He only scrambles when he needs to try to get yards. He's trying to make it happen with his own. That's the difference.
Let's talk about the importance of your seniors this year, those who are graduating and may not be back, you know, these last couple of games, the last times they'll hit the field. Not only that, but they're also mentors and captains on the field. You know, they've been through the system for, you know, a couple of years, so they understand what execution Saturday means to you as a coach and to portray that down from a leadership level from the players. What is the emotion when you know that the season is coming to an end for the seniors and knowing that, you know, these may be our last couple of games, so we just got to ride it out, let the wheels fall where they may?
Well, the two guys that jump out to me when you ask those questions, a young man by the name of Garrett Fairman and our punter by the name of George Sodders. And those two guys jump out at me because they've been here since 2000. And because of the COVID year, they were able to get that extra year, that 6th year. And so those two gentlemen, as it winds down for them, it's kind of like bittersweet because both have been leaders in the program. They've been catalysts in the program. And a lot of people don't think that when you bring a punter on, is he really a leader? Probably George is one of our better leaders. You know, he's pretty much our captain. I put different captains for offense and defense, but he's pretty much our special teams captain because during practice, he makes sure those kickers are doing the things they're supposed to do on the sideline and not just standing over there, standing around. They're getting exercise done. They're working on ball drops. They're working on holes. They're working on kicks. He's making sure he's staying on top of that stuff. So he does a great job as like a player's coach when it comes to the special teams. And with Fairman, you know, he's been our steady Eddie. He's been a guy. He plays defensive end for us. Came in playing safety, moving the linebacker. Then we moved him down to defensive end, so he put some weight on. So he's been our buck position, which is kind of stand-up defensive end. But he's one of those guys who's consistent. You know, he doesn't make a ton of plays or anything like that, but he does his job every single play. You're not worried about him making mental mistakes. He's going to be where he's supposed to be. And so when you have guys out on your team and you have guys like that who are leaders on your team, it's always a positive thing. And we got some other guys that I'm really excited about. Some of the grad guys we brought in, you know, that I think are very good leaders and very good players. I'm hoping they get the understanding of better men, better fathers.
You talk about you said something that was key, and I think that it's kind of missed in football at times today. Is that, you know, everybody on the field has a job to do, right? When you talk about the D end, it's containment, right? Not letting the quarterback get to the outside, and a lot of times you look at players now who just want to make the play that they abandon their assignment. Talk about the importance of staying in lanes and staying in position, because I think, you know, when you talk about offensive line, when you talk about defensive line, even when you talk about punt team and kickoff, everything is designed for a reason. Down kickoff, you have to stay in your lanes. You leave your lane, you leave an open slot where they cannot easily come back up.
Yes.
And, you know, they will do the same thing on punt, you know, same thing on defense. Talk about the importance of just playing your lanes, playing your gaps, and allowing the other players to come and, you know, make that tackle.
It's funny
It's
you ask.
selfless. It's
Absolutely, you agree 100%. It's definitely selfless. I mean, it's selfless. It's one of those situations where I was having this conversation this week at a team meeting, and I asked one of our defensive tackles as a freshman. He didn't play a lot. Last year, he didn't play a lot, and this year he's our starter. I said, what changed? He said, Coach, I finally started watching film and watching what I was supposed to be doing. not making a play, not doing that. Where am I supposed to be on this play? Am I supposed to be in the A gap? Am I securing my A gap like I'm supposed to? Am I abandoning my A gap, trying to make a play, thinking that I'm going to get recognized because I'm making a play and I'm not playing within the structure what the defense is? And he said, I finally started understanding that sometimes you got to play within the structure and the play will come to you. You're not worried about trying to do something over, over exaggerated to try to make something happen. Same thing when you're on kickoff. We got a guy by the name of Dave Schwarzentrooper. Dave, that's all he does. He's our special teams guy. He busts his behind, get down the field, stays in his lane. He's full speed every play. He gives unbelievable effort, and he does it on all four special teams. So exactly what you're talking about with the guys that we have on our team, the guys to understand, like Garrett Fairman, like I was talking about, my job is to make sure I hold contain. When I'm rushing the outside lane, I can't outside leverage on the quarterback. Make sure I'm rushing the upfield shoulder, making him go inside so the tackle can get to it. It's extremely important for guys to understand that sometimes you'll make the play on defense, but you won't make the tackle. And what I mean by that is you made the play by doing the right thing, and somebody else made the tackle. So that's the important thing when it comes to things like that. No different than an offensive lineman. You're in slide protection. You're supposed to take the 3 technique, and you don't take the 3 technique because you're worried about outside linebacker getting outside. You don't think the running back where he needs to be at, so you'll open up the gate and let the 3 technique go as opposed to you sliding where you're supposed to be at. It's important you play within the structure of what we're doing in order for us to be successful.
And it's crazy because when you say how players say, they just want to make the tackle, essentially they are making a play, because when doing your job, you may, cause the running back to now have to abandon the gap assignment that he was supposed to hit to now try to, change course, which allows the defense now to make its way and attack downhill. It's easy to, for a defense to attack downhill when a running back is left and right and not north and south. So anytime a D lineman is able to get a push, you've done your job.
Yeah,
And
the crazy thing about it, you look at social media and you have somebody say, well, why did they do that? Or why did they do that? Well, because the coach sat in there the last 14 hours and he studied this team and he thinks their tendency is this, tendency is that. Because so when they're in the cover and you say he busted that, you don't even know what coverage they're. You just say he don't know how to cover that man. They could be in a zone coverage. They could be in a man coverage. It's no different
right.
than front. If a defense offensive lineman gets beat, they may be in slide protection. It may not be his job to block the guy on the outside. It may be the tight end coming from the backside who's supposed to block that. So when guys are making those accusations about what they know about football, what they don't know, but it always goes back to every man in America knows how to do 2 things. And that's grill
And coach.
football. So everybody's going to give their opinions, but I'm kind of glad. Because even when it comes to the scrambling quarterback and the stagnant quarterback, it's the same thing. It's as far as doing your job, playing within the structure of the offense, playing within the structure of the defense, playing within the structure of your special teams. Doing your job is extremely important when it comes to winning football games.
Doing your job is the only task that we have to win a football game. It takes all 11 to do their singularly job. And if all 11 do their job, then it should be a success.
It ain't no different than in the real world. If you do your job at work, stop saying
Right.
that ain't my job. Well, you know what? Then do your job. Do what you're supposed
Right.
to do. What's going to make the team strive and makes them get better. So it's a situation where we're there. I'll tell you a funny story, man, because I got to tell you this because I always tell people I'm extremely blessed when it comes to my job. I love what I do. And I'm sitting in the room last night, in the hotel room, and I'm thinking to myself, man, this is absolutely crazy that God gives me an opportunity to get paid for this. Football has taken me places I've never been. When I was in NFL, I played a preseason game in Japan, and I'm in Missouri. Oh, why would I ever come to Missouri other than to play a football game? So I'm in places where, I would never thought I'd be, all because of the game of football. And I always tell people I'm extremely blessed. I never take it for granted, the opportunity that God. So.
Wow. That's amazing because that's actually a question I wanted to ask you, Coach, was have you ever been to Missouri? And has there ever been a city or state that you may not have made it to while you played, whether it was NFL or college, that you have made it to through coaching?
I can't think of any other one. Missouri, I hit them, and I'm there. Like I had never been to Long Island to play, and I've been there a few times now. I've been to Hawaii. I played the All-Star game in Hawaii when I was in college. So there ain't too many states I've been to. I've been to Utah when I was at the University of Pittsburgh, played against the University of Utah. So That's the amazing thing, how this game just takes you so many places, man. And you get to meet people that you never thought you'd meet on the football field. And I was telling our guys, the thing what people don't understand, there are 133 FCS teams, 133. That's it. There are 331 million people in America. That was the survey in 2021. 331 million people, 133 teams. So let's say I'm the 133rd coach. 330 million people. That's why I tell people, if I'm doing something where there's only 133 people involved, if that ain't a blessing, I don't know what it is. And if I get to go all these places I get to go, if that ain't a blessing, I don't know what it is. There's 133 FCS and 128 FBS. So man, I'm blessed to be here. I'm excited about what we're doing. Excited about game day. We get another opportunity to go onto the field. That's what I always tell the guys. You get another opportunity for what? Assault and battery to become on Saturdays. That's the crazy thing about it. You can knock a man out and they're gonna tell you go back to the huddle. That's the great thing about football.
All right, so I got well, actually, before I get to my rapid fire again, I wanted to get your thoughts on players who this is a red flag for me. It's also something that really rubs me the wrong way. And again, this is in my opinion. Um, I get frustrated when I see selfish players. Whenever a team wins, but yet they're selfish in their own regard because they don't feel like they were a part of the team win, but the team won, so you did your job.
Right.
And I say all that to say, in regards to George Pickens, and his latest antics with unfollowing Tomlin and Pickett, and the Steelers, and wiping his social media clean of all his Steelers photos. This has become a new norm for for the generations that are under me. Anytime they're upset or disgruntled, they go to social media first and they erase everything clean. That's step phase one of letting you know that they're unhappy. And it took me back to a time with Antonio Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to say this to my dad a lot. I never I never could say that I didn't see that side of AB, because we were playing Miami in Miami, and I remember Emmanuel Sanders scored a touchdown. AB was open as well, but Emmanuel Sanders was basically wide open in the end zone. And because he didn't get the ball, he came to the sideline, knocked over the water coolers, was yelling at the coaches, etc. And this is a play that we scored on. This is a game that we won. If a player acts like that in a game that we've won, imagine how they act in a game when we lose. I just think those are red flags with characteristics in a football player whenever you display such behavior in times of wins. And just to imagine what your behavior looked like in times of losses.
It's weird you say that, because that's the conversation I had this week with our guys. Exactly what you're talking about, and being a selfish football player, because I'm a firm believer that everyone dresses alike on game day. You can wear what you want to wear in practice. You can wear blue shoes, green shoes. I don't care. But on game day, we're all dressing alike because we're all unified, because we're all part of this team. And once guys start understanding or start thinking that they're no longer a part of the team and they have to go with team goals, that's when it becomes a problem more than anything else. And I think people lose perspective. But the problem is it ain't just people that lose perspective of that. The media also lose perspective, because what they do is they single those guys out, because no one says that, the center that played in front of Tom Brady won 6 Super Bowls. They say Tom Brady won 6 Super Bowls. So
Yeah.
no one singles people out the way they need to single out. Now, Tom Brady doesn't say that, but it's the media that talks about it. When you get ready to play a game, they say Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson, like the Ravens aren't playing the Bills. And so when people start doing that, automatically people start feeling like, well, why isn't my name being called? Because naturally our ego takes over, and it's a situation. I always tell people ego stands for Ed God. When our ego takes over and the pride takes over, it becomes an issue. But people do it all the time. It's LeBron and AD versus whoever and whoever. It's never the Lakers versus this team, and that's where everything becomes an issue and becomes a problem.
So rapid fire. So we'll give you a couple, maybe 5 or 6, depending on how rapid we go. and you just give me your best.
Got to go real rapid pitch because got to get breakfast in a minute. So pregame.
Right, and we're gonna start with that first. Favorite meal: breakfast or lunch?
Oh, me, it's a breakfast, and I love chicken and waffles.
So okay, so next one: fried fish, fried chicken.
Oh man, fried chicken all day long. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yeah, I like baked chicken, but it ain't nothing like fried.
Collard greens, mac and cheese.
Oh, bro, it depends on the mac and cheese. Is it baked mac and cheese or stovetop mac and cheese? Because you know how it is.
It's baked.
I got to go with the mac and cheese. I got to go with the mac and cheese.
Edgerrin James or Willis McGahee?
I got to go with Edge. Edge a little older. Edge in the Hall of Fame. I got to go to Edge right now, but I love Willis. I think Willis had the speed and everything else, and what he did by tearing the ACL and still getting drafted first round, that's huge.
Santana Moss, Michael Irvin.
Oh, stop. The playmaker. That's not even a question. I mean, I love Santana. I coach his younger brother, Hugh, but come on, the playmaker all day.
Sean Taylor, Ed Reed.
Woo! Oh man, that's I mean, because obviously if Sean played, if Sean didn't get his life shortened by the senseless death that he had, he's a Hall of Famer. So both of them are Hall of Famer. That's definitely a toss up. I'm not gonna lie, that's definitely a toss up.
This is the hardest one for you. You ready, Coach?
I'm just get it.
This gonna be harder than the Ed Reed and Sean Taylor one.
I doubt it, but go ahead.
Miami Hurricanes or Florida State?
Oh, no. I won't.
Let's go, baby.
I won't even say
you.
That's right, man. It's game day, man.
It's execution Saturday, baby. It's game day. It's your boy Pitts on Pitt Sports Zone with Coach Bernard Clark Jr., aka Rob. Call him Tiger. Hey, Coach. Good luck today, man. Enjoy Missouri. Let's go, Bobby Moe.
Let's go, Bobby Moe. I'm out.